Welcome to the tech space, and in this video we're going to be going over classes and how to create them and what their uses are. So basically a class in C++ or in any programming language is used to hold function. So when we go ahead and create our stuff, so basically, when we create a class, we're going to want to declare it outside of main, obviously. You can put it inside main if you want, but usually classes are made outside of main. And basically, what we're saying by class is, like I said, we just want to have a class of functions, or maybe a class of similar functions that do, a certain goal, achieve a certain goal, or, all have similar traits to them. So basically, to do that, we want to type class and then a class name. So we're just going to put whatever, let's put function class. And then you don't want to put parameters. Classes don't take parameters, so you just put braces and a semicolon, and that's the end of it. So next, inside here, like I said, you just create your function. So as you know, we can have functions with parameters, without parameters, and then I can just take some input and then output it back to the screen. So like this. So basically we have a function and it's inside a class, and to call it into main, what you're going to want to do is create an object. So what an object is something that you create that represents a class that can call the functions inside that class. And to get the functions inside that class, you're going to need an object every single time. So you need an object for the class inside main. And to do that, we're going to put function, or actually function class, like I said, the name of the function, or the name of the class. And then after that, we're going to put just any name we want. So this is the name of the object. So we're going to put function object, and then a semicolon. There's no parameters to an object. An object, again, is just basically a pointer to this class. So anything inside the class I can use if I have this object. So now with that object, function object, we're going to call function 1. And to call it, we're going to use a dot. And then as you can see, function 1 popped up. It's the only function inside the class right now. So it didn't go. So function 1, and then just a semicolon and empty parameters, because there's no parameters in this class. Just a simple input output. So then we can run it. There's an error. So one, I don't have a variable for C. It's empty, so we have a variable for C now. And then 2, there's actually one more thing about classes I didn't explain. So basically in a class, you can have public, private, and protected. And I'll go ahead and type those real quick so you know how they look. Protected, and then private. And basically, public, we're going to use now. Protected and private, you really don't need to know until, you're creating multiple files with different classes in them. So once you start doing that, you'll need private and protected. If you want to know what they are, you can go fast forward to the video that I explained them. But basically for now, we're not going to be using protected or private. So public has to be in the class. So the reason public has to be in here is basically what it's saying is that we can have access to everything below this. So when I was to use private, or if I wanted to use private, I would just put that below here, and then everything below private in this class would be a private function, variable, or whatever's under here would be considered private, and only specific to this class. So saying this is public means that we can use this outside of this class by using this object. So you're going to want to put public almost every single time. Again, well, yeah, every single time that you create a class until you learn what protected and private are. So just keep that in mind. Always add public, and then use the colon, and then enter your functions or whatever you have in your class below that. So that's basically all I need to say about public for now, and private and protected. And we have our object, we have our class, we have our function, and we can go ahead and run this. So basically it's just going to take in an integer c, and then spit it back out on the screen. Easy. Just wanted to show you what classes are. Basically, you just create the class, make sure you use public, create all your functions. If you have multiple functions, again, you could have different functions in here, and then you just call them using the same method. So say I had function 1, 2, and 3, and they all use different integer values, of course. Actually, I could have kept that as C. So basically, we have, oh wait, no, at the top is C. Okay, so D. So say you have multiple functions in here. Basically what you're going to want to do is, when you have the multiple functions in here, you can call them with the same object. So again, you create one object per class. You don't have to create an object per function, just per class. So if I was to have a whole nother class, then I would have to create another object for that class, specific to that class. So when I go back up here, or back down here to my main, and I call function 1, it's going to take function 1 again. But if I was to call function 2, then if I go up here, function 2, then it would take function 2 and I would enter integer b, and it would take integer b and show it back to me. So I could call all 3 functions, for example, which I'll show you really fast. So we have function 1, 2, 3, and then we're using the same object to call these 3 functions that are in the same class. So when we go and run this, we get the first thing, which, oops, clicked out of it. So the first one that it ran, we go here, down here in our main, was C. So function 1 was C, function 2 was B, function 3 was D. So we just enter, an integer 4, C is equal to 4. Click enter, go to the next one, enter 3, B is equal to 3. And then we should enter D now, so 9, D is equal to 9, and then it's open. So click enter, you're out of that. And then basically that's all you do. So again, you create an object, you can use that object to call the functions in that class by using this dot separator. Don't forget to put the dot separator, and add the public to your class, because that's needed to use the functions in that class outside of that class. So that's basically all. If you have any questions, post them in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next tutorial.